The hip hop album review, because all of you wanted it, and I don't know why you didn't think we weren't gonna do it. The hip hop album review, Absol these days, but before we get to the review, make sure you go follow Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything, all the social media, and also make sure you go check out deadandhiphop.com. I was definitely looking forward to this based on Control System. For me, like, Control System had to seep in. You know, I listened to it, and it didn't grasp me. And I've listened to this a lot, and I still haven't got it. Like, I really don't know if I dislike it or if I love it, but I know I definitely like it. But it just kind of it just left me a little confused. Like, I like Tree of Life, but I don't get the message in it. But I think the first time that I was like, yo, like, this shit is definitely bumping in the whip is the one that he has with Ross, which is
Never Mind It.
Real nigga shit. Real nigga shit. Yeah.
Nigga, tell me something I don't know.
Not really like that, but close enough.
He got his beat
Why
in
you
Chicago.
He did?
Yeah, he got his
Why
beat
you
in
hating
Chicago,
though? Why you hating?
Well, you kind of you kind of dragged
Nigga,
out a
tell
little
me
bit.
something I don't know.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, but I definitely think that this was a little bit more accessible, like beat-wise, than Control System was. But I feel a lot like Sylvia Demo. Like, I like it and I want to love it, but it's just nothing is grabbing me. Just nothing on this just grabbed me. So I'm really blah on this one. Dub Sack was dope. The beat, like, I know I'm really but I don't know how else to explain myself on this one. I enjoy listening to it, but I just feel like he may have been trying to reach for something higher, and I'm trying to understand it, and I don't.
I was thinking that you was actually gonna like this project more, because I remember when we did Control System, you was like, yeah, you know, I like it, but I ain't feel it that much like how me, Ken, and Mike was feeling it. So I thought listening to this whole album as a whole, it was a lot more accessible beats on here. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, people probably gonna love this review. I mean, you know, listening to this, and I thought it just seemed like, I guess with kind of going back to when we did Childish Gambino royalty mixtape, how like Ken was like, this is Childish Gambino trying to get his black card. I think this is like Absol trying to show that he can make accessible sounding music, but still trying to be conscious at certain points, because it's still some songs in here that I'm like, okay, it sounds just like some typical radio shit, like Twat. Like that just sound like every other like radio shit, you know what I'm saying? And I remember when me, Ken, I think Rod, we went and saw TDE live, and then when I heard the song 100 Stacks, I kind of like, it was like a side eye type of like, huh? Like 100 Stacks, really? Like, cause I remember when they performed, they was like, yeah, you know, you ain't gonna never hear us talk about no money, cause you know we not that type of rapper, blah blah blah. So when I heard 100 Stacks, I'm like, huh? You know, it was like just a side eye, but yeah, huh? Like, really, y'all really talking about, you know, spending money, blowing money like that or whatever? But that was just my conflict, cause you know, TDE, they always had that, you know, we don't go to mainstream come to us type of deal. So I'm thinking like they was gonna still had a messages in the song. So I think that's what with Control System I had a conflict with going into this album. He had some, like, Tree of Life I thought that was one of my favorite songs on there, actually, Tree of Life, and that second song that came in. That's one thing I liked about this album, because a lot of the songs that had like Dub Sack, like what's that? I don't know the name of it because it wasn't listed on there, but the second song that came on after that, I was like, yeah, yeah, after Dub Sack, I just might be in your hood. That song.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about like when the song is.
When the song, yeah, like just like Tree of Life. Like when Tree of Life ended, and then the next song came in with produced by DJ Donnie, I was like, holy shit! Like that was the episode that like I love. I was like, holy shit! Like very creative, wordplay, very witty, and I also like Never Mind That. I thought even though it was a very commercial sounding song, I thought Absol, he wrote the beat really good. He was rhyming, his wordplay and everything was cool. Like he had like that library line. I thought that was really witty. But hold on, but that damn Kendrick Lamar interlude with that Terrence Martin, just like the Section 80, the outro, how you know Absol killed his shit. And Kendrick Lamar, I think when it got to that interlude, he brought some life to this album. When I was listening to it, I was like, holy shit. Kendrick Lamar just came. He was so energetic with his bars, and then you know Terrence Martin with the damn saxophone. You know I love that jazz instrumentation type stuff. So I thought that was real cool. Absol saying his little piece, but then you go from the Kendrick Lamar interlude to Closure, and it was just like it kind of it kind of fucked it up for me. I'm listening to, I'm like, yeah, you got me hyped. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe he about to turn a better, you know, not saying the first part of the album was bad, it wasn't horrible, but just like, okay, you got this interlude, okay, bam, let's finish out this album strong, and then it got the closure. I'm like, then it got to the joint produced by J. Cole, what's that? Yeah. Beat was a little bit underwhelming, but I like where he was going with that song. I thought the production was a little bit underwhelming for J. Cole. I was a little disappointed with the J. Cole production, but the song was still cool. It was alright. Then it got to I thought Stigmata was good. I think that was the only track I heard before, like I guess before the album's coming out. I thought Stigmata was good. How he used a lot of Jay and Nas lines on this album. I noticed it too a lot too. I don't know if it just comes from inspiration or him just being.
I think he said he does that on every album though. I thought I saw an interview where he says he does that.
But he did it. I mean, he did it on a lot of tracks though. Like a lot of little lines here and there. He said like a Jay-Z quote or a Nas quote. But that damn battle though, that shit, man. What fucking Daylight said some shit about
don't even try to say what Daylight said.
Man, he said some shit like some maggots cause I'm too fly. Some shit. I was like, oh my god.
I'm like maggots because I was
born too fly. Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I mean, he was saying so many damn lines. Daylight. I mean, I give up Absol some props though, cause you know he's not known for being on battle. So when I was listening to him, I'm like, Absol getting ready to battle. I'm like, this would be interesting. So I'm listening to him. I'm like, okay, Absol, he held his own. You know, it was good for him. But you coming in someone's like house. You're not gonna come into someone's house and outdo him. Daylight had to show him, like, nigga, this is my throne right here. You stick to your studio shit. We in here doing this. So I thought I thought Daylight shit, he killed it. I thought he killed it. That was another one of my highlights of the whole album besides Kendrick Lamar Interlude. Overall, I thought this was a pretty cool album. I mean, I wasn't going in this expecting Control 2. I mean, it was these days I was like, okay, this is Absol. I was like, okay, he's making a little bit commercial, assessing sound in the album. He didn't sound too bad as an MC. You know, it was just that twack and the songs that were bad were just like really bad. It was like, really, Absol, you reaching for that after saying all this? You know what I'm saying? It was like you trying to go for that commercial card. So, but overall, I thought it was a pretty cool album. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's solid. It's a solid project.
Back to, I think what FIFO was saying, I don't think there's really a lot to get on this album. I think it's really just, he just went in and recorded some songs and he wanted to put it out. I think the thing is, he did say that there was a central theme, like he wanted to kind of focus on things that are happening these days and evaluate just kind of where he's at. And I think that could potentially explain Honey's stats, because he was talking about how he was, in the past, and now he's looking at his life now, and he's like, he said I blew $1,000, I don't know where it went, or something like that, some line like that.
I got
so
50.
Yeah, it's not them, but based on what he's saying and on him explaining like his idea behind the album, I could get it. But yeah, it took a minute to get this album and to appreciate this album. But the more I play it, the more and more I like it, and the more and more I'm starting to find songs. I'm starting to say, certain lines or choruses over and over again. I think if there's one thing on this album you could point to as something that stick out, of course, it's twack. But that could be an ode to the West Coast sound that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why that's on there. And then and it's like he's putting a timestamp on this thing. And if you take at the end of just Days Like This or Just Like Me or whatever, the title track that dropped out, Just Have Fun.
Yeah.
Not the song when he did the Migos flow, which please don't.
Nas really did that flow first.
And that's what I was gonna say. Don't tell me who did it first. We don't need that. Migos right now is popularized it again or whatever, so it's the Migos flow that people know it as. So when people listen to this album 10 years later and they hear that, they were like, oh yeah, I remember when them dudes Migos, man.
That's why he said in the beginning, this is the only time I ever did this.
Yeah. And then, after that, there was another song where he did the Love Sosa Chief Keef flow. So there's kind of little timestamps on here that's applicable to kind of like, hip hop and stuff now. Yeah. But yeah, man, I like the album, man. I like Closure. You know what I'm saying? I think it's him.
But coming from after Kendrick Lamar Interlude, though, maybe if it was placed somewhere different.
It's like Kendrick Lamar Interlude. I think in his part where he was speaking, he said "Rest in peace, Lori Joe," and I think he came behind that with Closure to kind of tie it all in. Yeah, and you look at Closure and you look at what happened with her. You look at is it as good as Book of Soul? No, but I think what he's doing now today is trying to get that closure. And in Book of Soul, he was kind of talking about the issue. In this one, he's talking about trying to get that closure. He's talking about what happened and how that situation happened with her and how he fucked her over. Yeah, you know, when my first listen, it seemed like a lot of the pieces didn't really fit together, but the more you listen to it, the more I listen to it. Like when I first heard Closure, I'm like, what the fuck is this? But there was I think it was on Long Term 2 or Long Term Mentality where people were saying that they like his singing better than his rapping. Stigmata was tough, man. That shit was hard. I even like J-Rock didn't come with that energy, but there was a line he said, I keep the peace on me to keep peace on me. Man, that shit was crazy. But and Rod Slow was dope. And then the album got a little bit darker right after the Kendrick Lamar interlude, like it kind of went, you know, he gave you Twat and then he just was like, all right, we done. And then he did Closure. Sapiosexual kind of brought it up, but again, you know, what's Ab-Soul known for? You know, being introspective and intelligent. You know, and you know, I guess apparently a lot of chicks like him for that shit. So, you know, what you guys think about Lupe on World Run?
Lupe killed that shit. Yeah, Lupe went the fuck off.
Yeah, he did.
I liked his verse a lot.
Yeah. The first time I heard it, I didn't know it was him.
I didn't either, because he was spitting. He ain't spit like that in a long ass time.
In a minute.
But yeah, man, I like the album, you know, much like B, and I think where a lot of people are disappointed is that a lot of people were expecting Control System, and you know, and just not taking, you know, the album for what it is and exploring the songs, and you know, and you know, whether you like the songs or not. But if you go in there thinking you got a Control System, you're gonna be fucked up.
So I had no idea what to expect from this. I didn't know he had a mixtape series, so I didn't listen to any of those. Only thing I'd heard from him was Control Systems. And when you listen to the album of course was a little bit weird, it's a little left-hand path, but when you're done listening to it, like you feel heavy, like you felt like you've been through a lot listening to that album. When I finished listening to this album, the only thing I felt was meh. And I listened to it a second time, meh. Third time, meh. I never ever changed that feeling. And I feel like that was because it didn't really feel like a lot of feeling was put into this album. I didn't get any emotion from this. I didn't get any heaviness from this. I just got a bunch of songs. And for the most part, I'll be honest, I was pretty let down because I really liked Control System. And I like Ab-Soul. I like the way he rhymes. I like the way he thinks. And this album, it seemed like a lot of that was just gone. God's Reign was cool. Tree of Life I didn't like. 100 Stacks was dope as shit. I'm sorry. Even though the content I didn't care for, the way he was rhyming though was crazy. Super crazy. Dubsack didn't do anything for me. I didn't really care for the beat. You know, Twacked just sounded like fucking YG. It sounded like a YG song. You know, I was surprised it wasn't produced by DJ Mustard. It sounded like a DJ Mustard beat. But yeah, I'm with B. That Kendrick Lamar interlude was just stupid. And to me, that was the best thing on the whole fucking album, was that Kendrick Lamar interlude. And not just because Kendrick Lamar, because Ab-Soul came right behind him and spit his ass off. But I'm with Ken too. I liked Closure. I thought Closure was fresh. Even though Ab-Soul can't sing, but it didn't matter. There was passion in that song. And that's all I care about. I don't care if he can carry a note. Give me something. And that was the only song where I really felt like I got something from him. You know, Sapiosexual, no sir, no. Stigmata was dope. That beat was crazy. And that Schoolboy Q-ish, in the background. Action Bronson went off. I'm not familiar with the other guy, Assad. I don't know him, but he was dope too. I liked him. I liked him a lot.
West Coast MC.
Is he?
Yeah, he's from West Coast, I think so.
Ride Slow was dope, and Danny Brown went the fuck off. Turn your brain to bacon bits. Danny Brown, that's that old Danny Brown that I've always loved. Danny Brown went in. But overall, I'm not even with Ralph. I can't even say that because I can solidly say that I didn't really care for this album too much.
I think I liked more on it than you did.
You probably did. Because this album was literally the epitome of just okay to me. And let me say something real quick, kind of off of what Ken said. Some dude sent me, he probably sent y'all the same thing. There's a screenshot of Ab-Soul's tweet where he was saying, some guy was asking him, hey, did you make these songs mocking modern day rappers? And Ab-Soul wrote back and said, now you may be onto something. So when I listened to this, I was like, okay, maybe that's what he was going for. Maybe this was another one of those albums like, what's the one, Clipping, where they're kind of mocking modern day rappers. But even listening to this and thinking that way, it did that frame of mind didn't really sink in. Then I started thinking the same way Ken was thinking, which was he was taking a snapshot of today's music, because a lot of the beats were different. A lot of the styles that he was doing was different, because when you listen to this, there's no cohesion.
No.
None.
No.
So then I was like, okay, maybe he is trying to cover all of the gamuts that hip hop has right now. Then when you think, okay, these days, this is what's going on these days. So I think Ken is, I don't want to say Ken's right, but I think, no, I'm saying, I don't want to say, because who knows? Mm-hmm. But that's kind of what I got from it too, is that he was kind of taking a snapshot, because you had that was clearly a DJ Mustard beat. Clearly a DJ Mustard beat, yeah. And like you said, he did the Migos thing. He did the, whatever the other person y'all said, the Chief Keef thing. So I think he was doing all that on purpose. My only issue was, it just wasn't enjoyable. It just wasn't enjoyable for me. You know, I still like Ab-Soul, but I didn't get any feeling from these songs, man. I didn't get the typical Ab-Soul that I wanted. When I listened to this album, I just really got like for lack of a better term, I just really got an unfocused feeling from this. Like this, and I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure Ab-Soul sat down and said, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm doing this on purpose. It's just me as the listener. You can call me stupid if you want. I didn't get that from this. I got you know.
MEH period.
MEH ... because I'm still waiting. Maybe at some point this will click, but I don't think, not right now. I don't think it's gonna click.
Final thought, man. I didn't pick up on him either mocking or, him documenting. I'm just lost with it. Like, I hear it, I'm like, okay, I like this song. Like, how does it mesh? Like, it's just not, it's not grabbing me. It's not grabbing me at all. But I like the song. I like songs on here. So that's why I'm so conflicted. I'm kind of, I don't know what to say, like where to go on it. Like, again, like the only thing I can say is Control System got me later. I'm really hoping this will get me later, and maybe it might make my top 5 if it all culminates in my brain at some point in time. But it bumps in the whip, though. Like, it definitely bumps in the whip.
It's just a conflicted bump in the whip.
Yeah, it's definitely conflicted. Definitely.
Like I said, I think this is just him conflicting between commercial, accessible sound and him still being the conscious, mental MC that we've known and loved him for. Like I said, I thought this was a solid project. Like I said, the songs that I didn't like, I really didn't like. Sorry, y'all, I didn't like Closure. I just didn't like it. Coming off of Kendrick Lamar Interlude, you can't do that to me. You cannot do that to me.
I don't think you'll like a song like Closure anyway.
You can't do that to me. I'm like, no, God. I get it. I mean, I get where he was going with it. I didn't like it. But overall, I thought this was a solid project. I don't love it like Ken do, but it's okay. It's good.
I'm glad that we took some time to review this, because I was able to kind of, because we would have did this a couple of weeks ago. I said weeks.
If we was about to. It sounded like years was coming.
Oh, okay.
It was. Sure did.
Okay. Yeah, we did this a couple of weeks ago. I don't think I would have been able to kind of like really go in and kind of pick apart some of the things that he was doing with the album, and but I do like the album. I'm a fan of Ab-Soul. I've been listening to him since the Long Term series, and so I understand that Control System was special, in regards to his discography, and I think this one just kind of falls in line with the rest of the albums that he's had outside of Long Term Mentality. That was really good too. But I think this is not very cohesive. And I can understand like the disconnect when people listen to it, especially coming off Control System. But I think that what it is just it really comes down to the songs, and if you like the songs or you don't like the songs, and that's it, So yeah, I appreciate the album for what it is. The songs I like, and even the ones that I don't like. The Twack, I can skip it, but I get it. I'm okay with it. but you know, I could have did without it. But yeah, the ones that are on here that are really dope, I really enjoy, man. So I appreciate the album for what it is, man. And that's it.
Man. Now, can we talk about this battle real quick?
Okay.
So, I'm gonna say this right now. I love Daylight, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like Daylight smoked Ab-Soul. Ab-Soul definitely held his own. Ab-Soul had some bars. That shit about just a hoe at Chipotle. In other words, it's food for thought. Come on, man. Come on, man.
The W line.
I didn't get that one. I didn't get it.
W the West. I'm
No, I
double
did.
U.
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like,
You know what?
He dropped some
give it
gems.
the A.
He dropped some
Give it
gems.
the A. You gotta be
A little
Ken
bit,
to have
a little
that
bit.
bar beat.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You gotta be Ken to have
The
that bar
Illuminate,
beat.
the
Come on,
photosynthesis
man.
line, the whole play on Daylight.
Yeah. I'm ahead of day. I'm about to go back in time, so I can be ahead of day. Come on, man. For a long time, I was not a fan of Daylight. Like every battle I would see with him, I'd just be like, what the fuck is this dude? Like what? Cause he's awkward looking when he's on stage. Once I got his style, I'm like, this dude is a genius with his bars. Like, oh my god! And there were so fucking many. Like, you think I can you think I can face what I hand you, but this ain't peekaboo. What? Oh my! The hopscotch line, the one about
We squares.
As a possession, we stomping squares out. We hopscotching for a living. Jesus, Daylight is crazy.
Yeah.
He's crazy. But I mean, he didn't smoke Ab-Soul. I definitely think he won.
Oh yeah.
But I'll give it to Ab. Yeah, I think he won. You bugging if you man.
Nah.
Daylight had bars.
Ab-Soul with a little practice, he can.
Nah, he ain't beat Daylight.
No. I'm not saying he could beat him, but he can hold his own. You know.
He
But
did on this one.
He held his own.
he didn't come back though. He didn't have anything to come back.
When it
with,
was over.
It was over. They both.
No, Daylight quit and then he came back.
He put the mask. Yeah, he put the mask on. He was like, because after Ab-Soul was like, get your complimentary TDE mask.
Yeah.
So he didn't use it at first, and then he stopped. He was like, man, hold on, I need to put my mask on. That's when everybody started laughing, and then he just like, that's when he said that maggots too. I was like, oh,
That Khalees line.
yes.
Oh yeah, but also that was Nas,
You
son.
thought you Khalees get a baby victory, but nah, son.
He replied back to Ab-Soul.
Yeah, because Ab-Soul said that.
I was
But
like,
Ab-Soul's
man.
Nas son was actually a dope front.
Right,
I forget what he
right.
said though, but it was actually fresh. But days that dude. I think it's interesting that they it was one. I mean, that shit about the Dot Mob line, which if you don't really watch battles, I don't think you would catch it, but you probably caught it. Where he said that shit about you think you could bring all your dogs or something, but you got 101 Dalmatians, but oh fuck, what did he say? You got 101 Dalmatians, but something like you can't make these dots mob or something like that, or you can't mob dot, something like that. If you go back and listen, like that shit was crazy. Like the majority of Daylight's rhymes on that battle were just disgusting.
He said he was gonna battle. He said he's battling somebody else in TD, but he didn't mention who. So I'm wondering like who. I wonder is it J Rock since he's supposed to be like the next one up. Like,
I mean,
J-Rock might hit him.
that's the only other person I can see battle rap.
I can see Kendrick battle rapping before I can see.
But he was like it's somebody, but he ain't gonna say. He said it's a surprise. So I
It
want.
ain't gonna be Schoolboy.
No, it ain't gonna be Schoolboy. Schoolboy was
That's what I'm
there.
saying. It has to be J Rock or maybe Kendrick.
And he said he gonna release they said they were gonna release the footage for this too. For this
that.
battle.
They need to. They
Yeah.
need to. I mean, I thought it was a really interesting idea that they put this at the end of the record.